About a year ago, I took the online course at Yale called The Science of Well-Being. And this course was focused on happiness, the good life, and theories of well-being. This course also focused on some of the myths and misconceptions surrounding happiness and how we as a society really have an ill-perceived understanding of what makes us live happier lives. I got inspired by this, and I thought to myself, I need to teach this, I need to share it with other people. And so I grew passionate very quickly about teaching positive psychology and happiness to both my students in K through 12 and at the higher education level, especially in a time that we live in today, a time where in global crisis, throughout a global pandemic, where we're still feeling the long-lasting effects of a disease that has plagued our communities for over a year now. And this is important research because 36% of American adults last year said that they felt loneliness on a daily or extremely frequent basis. What's more concerning? 61% of this 36 were young adults around the age of 18, many of which who are graduating high school and getting ready to continue their studies at a college or university the next fall. So this has serious implications for the work of K through 12 school counselors as well as mental health support staff at the university level. And so I dove into the research, I dove into sort of some of the curriculum in positive psychology. And this is a subfield of psychology that focuses on well-being as opposed to psychological distress, crisis, or disease. I paired up with one of my mentors at the University of Connecticut, and we offered a brand new course called Defining Happiness, where we talked about some of these really critical, important topics of well-being and happiness. Within the first 13 hours of this class being open, enrollment was full. And this showed me that college students are passionate about learning how to make themselves live happier lives. These are some of the topics we talk about in the course. We talk about how does happiness exist in dark places. We talk about how to measure and qualify and quantify happiness. We talk about how happiness changes across the lifespan, how to find fit and balance in our work and personal lives. We talk about the effects of loneliness and social isolation, and we even dare to bridge the connection between how social identities restrict and create barriers to individual happiness attainment. Certainly a lot of topics to get through within a 13-week course. These are some of the theories that we use to ground our work and to justify what we're talking about. Sonia Lombersky says, the author of The How of Happiness, says that 40% of our happiness is within our control. And so we go into class every day with the conviction that happiness is malleable and that we have a direct influence on our well-being on a daily basis. Dr. Martin Seligman, who is one of the founding fathers of positive psychology, created this PERMA model in his theory of well-being that says that the primary ingredients for happiness lie in positive emotion, they lie in engagement within our communities, they lie in our positive relationships and love that we feel for others. It lies in our meaning and purpose, or in our goals and our accomplishment. This is hard to find during global crisis. This is hard to find during our pandemic that has kept us inside and away from other people. Students and adults and families across the country are struggling with isolation, loneliness, concern for health, a loss of opportunity. There's this natural fearfulness of other people because we're worried about being near others in fear that they might make us sick or make our loved ones sick. There's fiscal stress, and of course, for a large portion of our population are dealing with grief and loss of people to COVID-19. And so these are a lot of restrictions, yet I stand here with the conviction that happiness is still attainable during global crisis. And I've integrated this into my counseling approach at my fieldwork because we are still able to find engagement, relationships, meaning, accomplishment, positive emotions within a global crisis. Because 40% of our happiness is within our control, and we can do intentional activities every day to help us live happier lives. So the skills that we use to cope with distress are not the same skills that we use to increase happiness. Sonia Lewin-Bursky in her book suggests that we should practice expressing gratitude, cultivating optimism, savoring life's joys, committing to goals, taking care of our bodies, doing random acts of kindness. These are all ways that we can naturally increase our happiness and well-being, even in the darkest of times. So I want to leave you with this. Think about how we can incorporate positive psychology theory into our work with students, the hard, the challenging work that we do with students. And talk about happiness as we help students navigate the 3 domains of school counseling. How does well-being and happiness influence academic achievement, social-emotional learning, and readiness for college and careers? We want to encourage students to practice positive mindset and growth mindset and practice some of these intentional activities. And we want to remind ourselves that happiness even exists in the darkest of places, because it is something that we experience. Happiness is not something that we have to go out and find or pursue. It's an experience that we create for ourselves, and is certainly within our control. Thank you.